Nope, that's not good. And now I'm going to start with a poem about America's most popular psychiatric medicine. This is called Valentine for Prozac and Other Complicated Chemicals. Roses are safety orange, attachment styles are baby blue, contentment could be my hand tangled in curls, two pigeons on the subway platform on accident. Actually, doctor, can I get an antidepressant that ruins my sex drive a little more? Violet package of hot chips at the corner store. Roses are your hand-poked tattoos from friends. I'm non-binary, so all my sex is straight sex. Violets are hetero twinks with proclivities for excess. Red square in my pocket, coffee breath, below 30, wind, huge sunny sky, sensitivities to sound and light. Roses walk 10th Street in pink hair and pink eyeshadow, dogs in knit sweaters, violets dressed entirely in leather. I wanna be your shrink so I can get paid to watch you think. Blues or my soft spot for emo boy misogyny. Violets for the butch barista who smiled at me. I haven't seen you in a while. Left the house victory. Yesterday it was, if I die from drinking expired cashew milk, tell all my exes I still love them. Better to eschew hours of social media trawling in favor of taking off each artichoke leaf to reveal the soft heart. Baby blues are mercurial, slow pleasure a lost art. Pastel blooms on marbled paper she sends to me. Roses wake up heavy on sugar water and weak tea. Smile for everyone carrying bouquets to somewhere I won't go. My diary entry from our last trip to the snow. I'm reconsidering the phrase love of my life, as in Peach's cackle, or my sister's missed call, or today, filling out the mandatory psychiatric visit survey for thoughts that I would better off be not here. Zero. Not at all. If life imitates art, I jinxed myself with this new poem. It is called Cramp, which is something I had today. The things I can't unnotice get stuck in the spaces. Plaque between the bristles of my toothbrush. I go nights without brushing. An unflinching extra layer around me like the Planned Parenthood metal detectors. I'm so tired of, and not even doing anything about it. Why is no one talking about this? My results came back through the online portal. I'm Elliott. It's not fair that sleep works in such a way that we can't put each other to bed at the same time. Oh, I'm so glad I brought water. I really like puns, so this whole poem it's just a pun title. It's called Courting Disaster. Crushing on disaster. Text flirting with disaster. Buying disaster coffee. Learning disaster's drink. Stroking the short, soft hair of disaster. Disaster softly lifts your chin. Receiving dimly lit nudes from disaster. Smelling the panties of disaster, making playlists for disaster, going to the Mr. Softy truck with disaster, spooning against disaster, feeling disaster's bulge, trimming the hangnails of disaster, trading black manicures with disaster, planning dates with disaster that will never happen, you're both so busy, depending on disaster, kissing disaster's yellow bruises, imagining a catalog future with disaster, believing disaster's excuses. Naming hypothetical children with disaster, trading novels with disaster, packing a bowl in bed for disaster, calling disaster until 6 a.m., remembering every disaster's birthday, keeping inside jokes with disaster for years, composing long emails in your head for disaster, sympathy for disaster, heterochromatic eyes of disaster, soft stomach of disaster, my hydrogen echo, bad star. That's what the word disaster means in Latin. It means bad star, and I know that because I had to take Latin for 2 years in middle school. This is unrelated to any of that. It's called personal mythology. Hair clippings on the rim of the sink. A novel bookmark with a sigil. Small glass shard in my foot from I don't know what. The uptick in my intonation when I ask men if I'm pretty. The mystery, non-mystery of their eyes. Years spent measuring the precise dimensions of my lack. A bed that fills the entire room it's in. Boys always called me insatiable, like it was a compliment. I just want the wholeness of the universe like an infinite mouth on my own. Give my reflection a pep talk and say, the arm of the Milky Way is just a giant happy trail. Red marker running down the shower drain, you are not a manic pixie dream girl. Anointing my temples, my neck, my nails with shine and color. 2 fingers fish hooked in my cheek can feel like belonging. Venus, as she hovers over St. Teresa's church in the Brooklyn twilight. Play the voices of my personal saints, the people I can call after midnight. Patron saint of prisms turning in the window, of cryptids and UFOs, patron saint of burning cop cars, patron saint of red lipstick, of fiddle music in bars, of exclamation marks. My name shaped in their mouths, a reassurance of creation. It happens every day if you wait for it. All right, I'm gonna read. Thank you. Oh, it's so sweet. It's so sweet. I'm gonna read one more recent-ish poem, and then 2 poems. I'm gonna close with 2 poems from my book, which I have a very few amount of copies for sale back here, and some lovely stickers from me and poet Janelle Tan, my beautiful colleague. These next 2 poems are both about my name, which I gave myself, and also about names that I didn't give myself. And this one's called Earthquake Baby. I was born right after the 1994 Northridge earthquake in LA. My mother thought she was hallucinating when the hospital building began to sway. The way I heard it, she was alone on the exam table. Where was my father? Ultrasound gel cool and slimy on her still flat belly. The doctor came back to tell her there were 2 of me. They had seen twins for the first and last time. She left the building shaken in more ways than one, bummed a cigarette from someone standing outside, then went home to sleep in the neighbor's living room, her own kitchen next door, ankle deep with broken wedding china. An origin story, a creation myth, a birth chart, angles drawn between constellations of what you can either remember or retell a story of. A more beautiful and geometrically perfect way of saying, sorry I'm like this. The summer we fell in love, I told Mars, I don't know why this still gets to me. We were on his back steps at twilight before he quit smoking. He said, there's a reason Batman's parents didn't die when he was a grown-up. My mother had dreamed of names for you long before our cells had forms. Later, I did too. Saints' names, bodies of water, palindromes written in lists during class or while talking on the phone. You lived under my skin for years, in sweat glands and hair follicles, a growl trapped in the back of my throat. I saw myself as secret twin before I ever saw myself as not woman. The house I came home to, the one I've been told of but don't remember, looked out on a backyard that sank right into the fault line. This is Genesis in miniature. I wrote these in college, and this was my undergrad thesis basically, and reading them is it's an interesting experience for me because I'm like, oh, I grew. Genesis in miniature. My name is a reaffirmation. Jehovah is God. I spent weeks rereading its meaning before I ever said the syllables out loud. My old name became like a memory of a long ago trip to a country where I barely spoke the language. I'd like to be a namer, someone who gives titles to racehorses or streets or nail polish, an atom of my own tiny world. I'd give myself a new one every day. Moon Alley, Kinky in Helsinki, or Always a Winner. any name except the one I've been made to wear on my chest like a logo on a middle school gym shirt, faded and waiting to be handed down. This is going to be my last poem. It is titled after a Jenny Holzer piece, if you know that artist. Again, books and stickers back there. It is called In a Dream, You Saw a Way to Survive and You Were Full of Joy. When you moved to a new apartment, your sharpest scissors went missing. You put your sister's painting on the wall and found ways to sleep alone without fearing what was in the dark behind the door. You weren't afraid to ask for help. You tore the cover off the book your therapist gave you to read on the bus without shame. Reminded yourself to eat and sleep on time, that you deserved these things. In sleep, there was no need to hide under layers of clothing just to bear walking outside. You woke up with your scars, your disease, your historical ache, and still managed to lift your stubborn limbs up from bed. I'm Elliott Sky Case, thank you.